Well, hello, 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 hello. I just wanted to say hello. Today is the day that I am even more happy than I normally am. I wanted to say today is 7/7/21. 7/7/21. So what does that mean for somebody like me? It's my birthday, day number 7. It's my birthday, day number 7. So I'm going to ask everybody to come on in. I have a word of encouragement that I want to give because this is one of the 7 things I wanted to do today. And I want to make sure that you know that it is not time for you to quit. Come on in. I'm going to ask that you invite somebody in, share the post because it matters. Today is 7/7, and I'm doing 7 things. Come on in, invite some people in, share it on out. I'm doing the same thing. So you see me looking down because I'm sharing it out. I want to make sure that I get this word out today. 7/7/7. Share it out. Hey, Tressie, 7/7/7. Share it out. Let's share it out. I have a word of encouragement because this is one of the things I'm doing for today. I'm calling it my day 7 word of encouragement. So let's get it started to see if we can get some people to come on in. Like, click. I know some of us are at work. Some people are at work. So let's go ahead and share it out with a few people. I'm looking down because, again, I'm sharing it out. I'm sharing it out. 7/7/7. Come on in. I'm sharing it out. So I'm going to ask you all to help me by sharing it out as well. Sharing it out. Here is it. Here it goes. I'm going to say it this way. For those who are listening, I'm going to keep asking you to click like and share. This is a word of encouragement. Today is July 7th, which makes it the 7th day of my birthday. And one thing that I said I was going to do today, there were 7 different things. And one thing that I wanted to do today was to make sure that I took the opportunity to give someone a word of encouragement. So I want to tell you today and no other day, the rest of this year, is it time for you to give up? You cannot quit now. Don't get sidetracked. I'm speaking to everybody to include myself. This is not the time to get sidetracked. You know what it means to get sidetracked? To get off of the place where you need to be for this very moment for your breakthrough. Don't let go. Make sure you guys click like and share. Let me know that you're there. I'm going to need you all to give me some feedback. I always say hello. So make sure you say hello. But this is not the time. This is not the time to give up. This is not the time to quit. This is not the time to allow anything to get you sidetracked from your promise. You're too close right now. What I mean, there are 7 things, 7/7, and I'm going to give you 7 things that would prevent us, not just you all, but that would prevent me and prevent others from getting to where we need to go because we get sidetracked. I don't know if it's just me. Is it just me that sometimes you're on a roll, things are going, and then all of a sudden it seems like things get completely blown up and derailed? You have like no clue on what's going on. You have no clue. You're like, man, things were going so well. And then all of a sudden things start to happen, which will get you sidetracked. So I want to talk about 7 things that we want to make sure that it is not going to come in to get you sidetracked. Nothing should get you sidetracked in this moment of your life. Don't let anything, you're too close to it. How do I know you're too close? Because you're not where you were yesterday. For a fact, for some of us, we weren't even where we were earlier this morning. So don't let certain things get you sidetracked. One is the first thing I want to talk about and making sure it doesn't get you sidetracked is this. Do not let discouragement get you sidetracked. Do not let discouragement get you sidetracked. Don't let anyone cause you to feel so discouraged or allow yourself to speak negative words that you can't hold on. Don't get sidetracked by discouragement. The reason why it comes is so that you can remove your attention off of the things that's important and put your attention on things that doesn't matter. So don't let discouragement get you sidetracked. If someone or something or whatever the situation is causing you to be sidetracked, I'm going to say this, refocus. Don't get sidetracked. Don't get discouraged. You know, in the Bible, David encouraged himself. David did. He encouraged himself. So what am I telling you to do? Encourage yourself. There's always a positive. There's always a positive in your situation, regardless if you know it or not. There's always something positive that's happening in your life. So I'm going to ask you to not get discouraged in this hour. Keep holding on. Keep pushing through. You're almost there. I don't know what your almost looks like, but I know for me personally, I almost gave up on a business. I almost gave up my business because I was getting so discouraged, but I had the right person in my life. I had the right people in my life that kept telling me, Sharon, hold on. Hold on. You know, things are going to get better. Hold on. Don't let anything take a dream that you had. And I'm so glad I did it because now I'm starting to see that dream realized. So remember, the first thing to make sure that you don't get sidetracked is not to allow discouragement to come and get you off course. The second thing is this: don't get wrapped around uncommitted people. Yep, I said it. Don't get wrapped around uncommitted people. So often when we have a plan to do something, we're always looking for someone to come in and help us. We're always looking for that person that we believe is going to be right there to be by our sides. But sometimes you got to realize some things in life, you may have to walk out by yourself. Some things in life, they may get along, they may come along to get along. So you just got to realize, don't get all wrapped around about who's committed to the vision and who's not. Too often we keep thinking that everybody should be committed the way we're committed, and not everybody will be. Uncommitted people that are in your life is just that. They're not committed to your vision. They are committed to their plan. So don't get bitter, get better. Don't get bitter, get better. When people can't commit to your vision, if they can't commit to you, to the dream that you have, then they're just not the person for the fullness. You know, sometimes it's just like a merry-go-round. Sometimes you get on and you get on where you fit in, and then it's time to jump off. Then some people are able to hold on through the whole process. Don't get discouraged by uncommitted people. Just know that that's just their portion. That's their time. We talk about, you know, everything. There's a time and a season. But we got to be willing to accept other people's time and other people's season that may not be committed to you. They may not be committed to you. So don't get frustrated. Don't get sidetracked by who is there and who's not. Don't let, you know, the enemy take your joy out of that. Don't let it happen. Either they're with you or they're with something else, which could be theirs. But too often we get caught up on who's committed and helping with the dream and who's not. It's not their dream. It's not their vision. Some people, they're committed to help you because they know what they do for you, that somebody else will come by later and do it for them also. Then there are other people, no matter what you do, the only thing they need to be able to see is the finished product. Not everybody want to see the build of it. Some people, the only thing they want to see is a finished product. So let them see the finished product, which means you cannot quit. This is not the time to get sidetracked by uncommitted people. That's number 2. Remember the first one, I'm doing my 7-7. And today, this is one of the things that's on my list to do for my birthday month. My birthday, day 7 of my birthday. And one thing that I wanted to do is to give some words of encouragement. And so don't get sidetracked to your vision. Here goes the next thing. Number 3, don't get sidetracked by the confusion of the process. Don't get sidetracked by the confusion of the process. Sometimes we give up. We get sidetracked because we get stuck in what the process looks like. So we don't want to do it. We get frustrated doing it. And us getting frustrated, sometimes we miss our mark. So don't get confused. Don't let the process weigh you down to the point that you want to let go and you get sidetracked. You get sidetracked that, man, someone is taking you from 1 to 8 when you think it should be 1, 2, 3. Well, if God is guiding your footsteps, he's going to take you whichever route works best for him, for your growth in his glory, for your growth in his glory. So don't get so caught up in the process. We get too wrapped around what the process is supposed to look like. Well, somebody said I have to do this for 3 years. Somebody said I have to do this for 5 years. Well, let them say what they might. They can say what they want to, but don't you get so caught up in the process that now you want to give up because it's bringing about confusion. Not everybody can walk the way that you walk. I don't care if all of us are trying to build the same thing. We are all individuals. So allow your individual process to get you where you're going. That's number 3. So number 1 was make sure that you don't get sidetracked by discouragement. The second was don't get sidetracked by uncommitted people. The third one is don't get sidetracked by the confusion, by being confused with the process. Now I'm to number 4. Number 4 is don't get sidetracked because of your pride. I'll clap for myself. Don't forget, guys, I'm asking you all to please click like and share it to your page, share it to a group. This is a word of encouragement for somebody, not just me. Don't get sidetracked by your pride. What do I mean? I'm saying this. Sometimes our pride gets so much in the way that we think we have to do it a certain way. We get caught up in what we say, well, do it with excellence. Sometimes it's not excellence that you're doing it in. Sometimes you're doing it as pride. My way is the only way. Don't get discouraged by pride. Don't let pride get you sidetracked from where you're supposed to be. If there's something that you need to do differently, do it differently. If there's someone that can give you some wisdom because they've been there, take the wisdom. Don't let pride be the reason why you can't get to your end state because you won't submit to a different idea. If you get so stuck in your pride and your way, then you become more rebellious. So you never get to where you're trying to go. How do you get there? Submit yourself. Sometimes people have ideas that you've never thought about. You've never thought about it. So because you didn't think about it, you may be in that place. Well, I didn't think about it. So obviously they don't know what's best for me. Don't have that. That's pride. Don't do that. Don't let your pride get you sidetracked from making your dreams, letting your dreams come true. Don't let pride do it. And so number 5, here is number 5. Number 5 is don't get sidetracked based on misunderstandings that draw your attention. Don't get sidetracked based on misunderstandings that come to draw your attention. I don't know about anybody else, but you ever notice how much energy you actually have to spend when there's just a misunderstanding because people either won't talk or you won't read the instructions or whatever that looks like? Is it just me? Am I the only one? Where sometimes you get so sidetracked because there's a misunderstanding. You're thinking that the person is here to do this to you, but you don't realize maybe they're doing something for you. Maybe you don't understand the instructions because you've placed such a block around your mind that you won't allow yourself to receive anything. So make sure that you don't get all caught up and get sidetracked from accomplishing the mission, the goal, your dream, your destiny. Make sure you don't get sidetracked because you're so caught up in spending so much energy on things that are just a misunderstanding. Well, they didn't, I said it this way and they took it another way. Don't spend so much energy trying to fix it. Okay, go and talk about it, but just don't spend so much time because that's going to cause you to get sidetracked for greater things. You have got to be able to keep it moving. Keep going. Do what you need to do to get it corrected. But don't keep reliving what was a misunderstanding. Don't keep reliving this situation. Stop just getting caught up in, oh my gosh, they should have done it this way. They should have done it that way. Don't do that. Don't let misunderstandings get you sidetracked. That was number 5. Now I'm to number 6. Number 6 is this. Don't get sidetracked because you don't know how to do something. Don't get sidetracked because you don't know how to do something. So often, and that's why I have my podcast, and it talks about how to overcome the fear of not knowing, how not to get stuck in doing things because you don't know. I'm telling you, Google may be powerful, but you know what's even more powerful? Telling somebody or asking somebody what you don't know. And so sometimes you don't know what you don't know, right? Until you're informed. You've heard that. You don't know what you don't know until you're informed. Well, the best way to get informed is to do research. Don't get stuck in there. Well, I don't know how to do it, so I just kind of left it alone. Don't get sidetracked from your vision. Don't get sidetracked from the mission. Don't get sidetracked from the fulfillment because you're saying, well, I just don't know how. Somebody knows how. So reach out. Remember when I talked about that pride? That's something else. If you're too prideful to allow yourself to go and ask a question, it's not making you look dumb because you don't know. It's showing that you want to know. So don't get sidetracked by not knowing how to. Don't let the how-to portion get you in a point where you can't reach your dreams. And number 7, this is the 7th day of my birthday. This is one of the things I had on my list. The 7th day, July 7th, the 7th day of my birthday. Here's number 7, and this is it. Don't get sidetracked by people who don't matter. They don't matter. They don't matter to the process. They don't matter to the completion. They just don't matter. So don't get sidetracked by people who don't matter. They don't matter. So what am I saying to you? Let's think of this as an analogy. You know, when you go to a sporting event like football or soccer, it doesn't matter. You ever notice that the crowd, they can just be the one that make or break your concentration, right? They're like, hey, get the basketball, like, hey, get the crowd involved, get the noise involved so that they can distract the player. Remember, don't get sidetracked, which is distraction. So think of it this way. Think of the difference between someone that's sitting in the stands cheering and someone who's out playing in the competition. What's the major difference? The focus. Someone that's sitting in the stand, they can cheer, they can boo, they can walk out because they have no connection to what's happening. Yeah, sure, they may have paid money, but still, it's not the same as when you're out there playing. So don't get sidetracked by people's opinions, of what you should be doing when they themselves can't or won't do it. Don't get sidetracked by that. People don't matter. The people who sit in the stand, we call them the peanut gallery. The people who sit in the stand has no bearing on your completion. Let them cheer. Those same people who will cheer are the same people who will not commit long enough to compete. They won't commit long enough to finish the challenge. So don't let people's opinions on how you should do it or what you should do, or, had it been me, I would have done it this way, but you hadn't done it at all. They don't matter. Don't let people get you out of your space. Those who have no bearing of your life, don't let them don't let them do it. Don't let them do it to you. Don't allow them to get you sidetracked from your purpose. Don't allow them to cause you to be so distracted. You can't value the moment of your process. One thing that I really realized, that the most important thing about the process is the promise that's embedded in it. The most important thing about a process is the promise that's embedded in it. So don't allow anyone to get you sidetracked out of the process. Don't allow anyone to get you sidetracked out of the joy. Don't allow someone to get you sidetracked out of the lessons learned. Don't allow someone to get you sidetracked that you cannot gain the wisdom and the knowledge from the experience. Don't allow people to do it. Because the same people who are cheering as you're playing, you ask them to help you. Remember, I go back to the uncommitted people. Those same people will never, ever want to get out there and do what you're doing. But they can always look and tell you what you're not doing right. So stop allowing people to look into your window to tell you how to arrange your house when those same people have not invested in building your house. Don't allow it. Don't allow yourself to be sidetracked by that, because none of that stuff matters. None of it matters. So again, I want to give a recap. I'm on here and I'm going to ask you to, and if you're listening to the replay, I'm going to ask you to share as well. And then I'm going to also ask you all in the comments as you're listening, I'm going to ask you to do me one favor in the comments, both on IG, on Facebook, YouTube. I'm going to ask all of you in the comments to do this. I refuse to get sidetracked from XYZ, whatever it is. I refuse to get sidetracked from, in my case, I refuse to be sidetracked from my dream of building a business that I can grow and then go. I refuse to get sidetracked from that. I refuse. I almost gave up. Refuse to do it. I'm not. So down in the comments, I'm going to go back and read the comments. Down in the comments, I'm asking you to write this out. This is your propelling point. What is it that you refuse to let anything, anybody, any situation cause you not, to get sidetracked, that you can't see the fulfillment of it? This month, this is the month of July. Yes, the 7th month, the number of completion. But I'm going to ask this. What is it that you need to finish? What is it that you need to pick back up so that you can run the race? Because remember, the race is not given to the swift, but those who can endure. What is it you need to make sure that you can indeed do this thing again? I refuse. I want y'all to tag it. I refuse to get sidetracked from whatever it is. I refuse. I refuse. I refuse for someone to tell me what it is to be a woman with a business. I refuse to let them get me sidetracked with that. I refuse to get sidetracked on how my name should be spelled. I refuse to do it. I refuse to get sidetracked because they don't matter. They don't matter. I refuse to get sidetracked. Don't get sidetracked in this season. I'm telling you, as a prophetic word that the Lord gave me, he said that July, this month, July, will be the time when it's time to launch. What does launch mean? It's time to get out and get things done. To launch means to go forward. To launch means to propel. To launch. He said it's time. It's time for us to get these things and stop putting our hands to it and quit. This is not the time to quit. Don't quit. This is not the time to get sidetracked that you don't finish the mission. This is the time to not just start it, but to complete it. This is your time. So often we wait on the new year. We wait on the new year to start these new things. I refuse to wait when I hear him say, do it now. Do it now. It is time for your launch. Launch into that next place. Right now we're praying and we're fasting and we're asking the Lord to show us what's next. So I'm going to share with you. Go and pray. Seek the Lord. Ask him, Lord, show me what's next. But give me the character to hold what's next. Give me the character that I don't get rebellious. Give me the character that I can see the value in everything. Give me the character so that I don't get sidetracked. Give me the character. As he's given the plans, give the character. So I didn't want to be on here long. I'm going to continue to ask you to click like and share. I'm going to continue to ask you to do it. But I'm going to tell you, if you get sidetracked, don't blame the devil. Don't blame the devil. Because right now, the power is in your hand. Don't blame the devil. You know, when the enemy came to, when the devil came to test Jesus, Jesus didn't just remind him of the word. What did Jesus do? Jesus showed him better than he could tell him. It is time for you to show people better than you've been saying. And these same people, again, these same people are going to be so irritated. So let their irritation happen. Refuse to be sidetracked. Woo! I refuse to be sidetracked. Because this time, by the end of this year, I know what I heard. By the end of this year, I will finish my books with an S because I refuse to be sidetracked by people's opinions. I refuse to be sidetracked by my imperfection trying to become perfect. I refuse to do it. And in that refusal, I know I'm going to make it. I am going to launch because that's what he told us to do. Launch. You got a payload of promises. But those promises can't ever get to the destination because you won't do anything without getting sidetracked. My husband and I have this term that we use. You know, if you have a dog or an animal and something comes by, like a squirrel comes by, immediately the dog's face turn. They shift quickly. They get sidetracked quickly. A dog would get sidetracked so quickly if a squirrel ran by. How many squirrels do you have in your life? How many squirrels do you have in your life? Don't get sidetracked by the squirrels that's going to keep running no matter what. Don't get sidetracked by the squirrels who have no part in this. Don't get sidetracked by the squirrels. When my husband and I are having this conversation, we can be talking. If either one of us go off on this whole tangent about something that has nothing to do with the conversation, we now have this joke. We'll go squirrel. And then the other person realizes, oh man, did I miss it? Yes, you got sidetracked. Have somebody to tell you, hey, that's a squirrel. That's a squirrel. So I'm going to give you those 7 points again, and then I'm going to get off of this line. Today is day 7 of July 7th, 2021. There are 7 things that I have on my list today that I wanted to do. 7 things that I have on my list today as my birthday, day 7. And this was one. It was for me to get online, to do something I hadn't done in a while, to give somebody an encouraging word, to say, don't get sidetracked. It's right around the corner. I don't care how far the corner is. I don't care how many years it may look like for that corner to even exist, but don't get sidetracked. Don't get sidetracked. So here are your 7. Don't get sidetracked by discouragement, either discouragement to yourself or from someone else. Don't get sidetracked. Number 2, don't get sidetracked because you have uncommitted people in your circle. Don't get wrapped around who's committed to the vision and who's not. Remember, some people are supposed to drop in and some people are supposed to fall out. Allow those who's supposed to drop in and let go of those who need to fall out so they can fall out. Some people, as I told you, some people, they can only come up, be a part of it when it's already built. Some people can't get their hands dirty. It's like some people, they can only sit at a table. They can't go in the kitchen to help because they're not there. So don't try to get people who are not there to be more ingrained and engrossed in something that's yours. That's your payload of a promise. Don't get wrapped around the uncommitted people. Don't let them get you sidetracked. And then number 3 is don't get confused. Don't get sidetracked by being confused in the process. Don't do it. Let the process go. And like I told you, one of the greatest things about a process is the promise that's in it. Every process has the promise. We got to stop waiting until the end of a thing. The scripture even tells us, you know, we get into the beginning and we're already thinking about the end. But how about going through the process? Because it's in that process that you're going to see your promise is already there. Each time you get to pick up another promise. I promise you I would never leave you or forsake you. That's a promise. I promise you that I will be El Shaddai. That's a promise. I promise you that I would always provide. That's a promise. So as you go through your process, get the promise. So don't get confused and get sidetracked because of the promise. That was number 3. Number 4, because you all know, anybody knows me, I got to do a recap, right? Number 4 is pride. Don't allow your pride to take away your ability to reach where God is sending you to in your launch. Don't allow your pride because you think you know everything, because you think you've experienced everything, because you think you know better. Don't allow your pride to get you sidetracked. Your pride will prevent you from getting the help you need. Don't allow your pride to get in the way. Check yourself now so that you know. Check yourself so that your character will keep you there. Check yourself now. That is not pride. That's going to derail you and get you sidetracked. Number 5 is don't get sidetracked by misunderstandings. That's going to draw your attention. Don't get sidetracked with these misunderstandings. I'm not even going to dig into that too long. But when you have a misunderstanding, clear it up and keep it going. If they want to keep it moving, then, you went from a misunderstanding to an understanding. Don't get somebody to pull you back into misunderstanding. It's just too much energy. So don't get sidetracked by that. And number 6 is don't get sidetracked by not knowing. Don't get sidetracked because you don't know. Don't allow what you don't know to prevent you from getting there. Google is powerful, but you know what's even more powerful? Asking someone for help. Just say, hey, I need help. Do you know anybody? Like right now, I'm looking for someone that knows HR. If you know someone that knows HR, go ahead and hit me up. DM me, please. If you know someone that's doing HR, go ahead and give me a DM. Because I'm looking for someone for HR. And I'm also looking for an editor. So, if you know somebody, do a DM. And again, don't allow what you don't know to prevent you from becoming one that knows and can move forward. Don't get sidetracked by that. And then finally, don't get sidetracked by the peanut gallery. Remember, that's my 7. Don't get sidetracked by the peanut gallery. What am I calling the peanut gallery? Those who can sit in the stand and cheer because they will never get down to complete. Those who can sit in the stand, they can boo, they can give their opinions, but they will never take the courage and the time to get down to compete to complete. Don't get sidetracked by the noise. I don't know if you all ever experienced some people, as soon as you get done, they're going to come and tell you how to do it. Oh, you should have done this. You should have done that. And so now I'd be like, well, when did you do it? Oh, I hadn't done it. No, I was just giving some, some of my opinions. I don't need your opinion at this moment. Because I no longer ask for validation. Once you get free of having to be validated by people, you're going to see that very little things will cause you to get sidetracked. Once you get beyond having to get validation from people, you will quickly see that very few things will get you sidetracked. You don't need validation to be strong, to be powerful. You don't need validation for that. If you're a believer of Jesus Christ, you've already been validated. You've been validated. So that's what I wanted to bring to you all today. And, you know, I can't get off this line without giving you a scripture, because that's who I am. So I wanted to give this scripture to seal, and for those who read your Bibles, I want you to think about this. Ephesians 1:10. Ephesians chapter 1, verse 10. In Ephesians chapter 1, verse 10 says this: as a plan for the fullness of time to unite all things in him being Christ, things in heaven and things on earth. Know that there's a plan for the fulfillment of time. There is a plan. So once you get that plan in place, don't look back. Don't get sidetracked. This is not the time to be sidetracked at all. Don't get sidetracked by what people say, what people do. None of that stuff matters. You keep going. You keep pushing. This indeed is your propelling point. Be blessed. Today is my day 7 of my birthday, and I was going to give 7 things to encourage someone. And so I'm completing the other things because I know there's greater in you than anything around you. So don't get sidetracked. It's almost there. It is almost there. But it's up to you to keep pushing. All right. Be blessed. Be blessed. It was my pleasure in being with you today. Be blessed.